WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. One man is in jail as police continue to investigate a deadly Baldwin shooting.
Investigators tell us a long-running feud led to that gunfire. Officers were called to Price Street Tuesday afternoon. Officers found Gary Price lying in the street with a gunshot wound. Police were able to get information from Price and witnesses in the area. Tonight, Shanzell McGee, that is, is being held in the Prentiss County Jail and is expected to soon face charges.
There were several people in the vicinity. At the point in time that we arrived, Gary was still conscious and lucid, and indicated who had shot him, which was Shanzell McGee, 28 years old, of Price Street here in Baldwin.
Investigators say Price and McGee knew each other but did not release any other information about the long-running feud between the two men.
Lawmakers could deal with an issue faced by law enforcement agencies across the state, the need for more mental health funding for inmates.
Our Allie Martin has more from a legislator and a sheriff who say the issue has become worse in recent years, putting a strain on inmates and law enforcement.
Prentiss County Sheriff Randy Toller says his deputies regularly get court orders to pick up someone with suspected mental health issues. The patient is supposed to go to a crisis center or the state hospital, but often those facilities do not have enough beds. When that happens, deputies have no choice but to bring the patient to jail. The sheriff says that must change.
Law enforcement is going to be involved in this process because we're the one that's given the order to go pick these people up, and we're the ones that's responsible for transporting them, and we don't necessarily have a problem with that. The problem arises when you're putting people in jail that don't need to be in jail.
Sheriff Toller says his department does its best to separate patients from the general population, providing separate cells and other services. The problem is not unique to Prentiss County, and District 19 State Representative Randy Boyd says lawmakers could look at providing more funding for the crisis.
We started the drug court a few years back, and it's been very successful, and we're trying to look at some way we can have like a mental health court, something that will be along the same lines as the drug court, which helps people.
The sheriff is confident lawmakers will address the issue, and he hopes Mississippi will look to other states to see what has worked.
I'm sure there's other states out there within our 50 states that have other methods of doing this, handling this process without people actually coming to jail.
The sheriff says many of the people his office deals with have mental health issues made worse by drug abuse. In Prentiss County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Sheriff Tolar says the mental health issue among inmates is the #1 topic at the annual Mississippi Sheriff's Association meeting.
A Chickasaw County teenager missing since November is found safe. Jasmine Bird disappeared November 26. The 17-year-old had last been seen in Holka. Today, Dothan, Alabama police called the Chickasaw County Sheriff's Office to let them know that she had been found and was safe. The Mississippi Department of Human Services has been sent to pick her up.
A house fire in Tishomingo County leaves one person dead. Coroner Mac Wildman tells us the victim is 58-year-old Linda K. Taylor. Wildman says another occupant in the house smelled smoke and realized that it was coming from Taylor's bedroom. That person then opened the door and saw that the room was full of smoke. The fire was contained to that area. Time for a first look at our forecast. We'll turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Keith?
Still some showers out there. Case in point, right here in Columbus, we have rain. We have some breezes now sustained at 1646 in the Friendly City. You can just see just a few showers here, but some heavier rain nonetheless lingering across southeastern parts of our coverage area. Drier air and cooler air is coming on in. And look at this. We're already down to 34 in Oxford, 37 in Winona, 40 in Tupelo, still 49 in Macon. So as we go throughout the evening, the moisture goes away. Clouds will thin out. Lows tonight, upper 20s to around 30. Your full forecast is coming up.
The condition of the state's roads and bridges has been a cause of growing concern for many residents and public officials.
But there could be some help on the way. Our Riley Livingston hit the road in Calhoun County today to find out more.
Big relief for us.
On Tuesday, the Mississippi Transportation Commission made a big announcement. They approved a $250 million project to repair or replace many Mississippi bridges.
Found out a couple of days ago that they had got some money through this special road fund or bridge fund.
200 bridges are being looked at for the project. 99 of those are already closed. One of those bridges is Tony Morgan's.
It's really going to help us because we got 5 bridges maybe out in the county. I know the one I got money for been out over a year.
The funding comes as a relief for county supervisors.
Well, ain't no way we could afford to fix them ourselves.
Morgan tells us they aren't wasting any time getting their projects on the road.
I talked to our county engineer, and we looking at February maybe bidding some of this stuff off. So then you look at probably another couple of months. I'm thinking maybe June, July, we'll start seeing some actual work done.
Calhoun County residents are ready for work to get started.
They've been in need for repair for a long time. Of course, with cutbacks and shortage of money, they hadn't been able to repair them. But I did see where they had released some money where they were going to do some repairs, and I hope they get some bridges right here close to our town because they're in pretty bad shape.
Reporting in Calhoun County, Riley Livingston, WCBI News.
Starkville and Ocklawaha County received the most money in our viewing area. 7 projects were approved there, totaling over $4.3 million.
Well, supporters call it a win for rural Mississippi and the prospect for more internet options. The Mississippi Senate today passing legislation that would give electric cooperatives the option to provide high-speed internet to customers. Northern District Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley has been pushing for this change. He says the law would only give co-ops the option to provide the service. It wouldn't be a requirement. That bill now goes to the governor for his signature. We'll hear from Presley on it tonight on WCBI News at 9 and 10.
An Aberdeen teacher finds the right formula for getting middle schoolers to embrace science. Ms. Ware is our educator of the week. She teaches chemistry at Bell Shivers Middle School. In her class, passion plus props plus praise equals successful learning.
When you do something right, why not praise them to give them more confidence in what they're doing? So I try to have a classroom where everybody cares about one another and they support each other. Even if they hadn't gotten it right, we would have helped them to get it right.
To nominate your favorite teacher, visit WCBI.com.
All right, coming up, fewer young couples are going to the chapel to tie the knot. You didn't know I was going to sing,
I
did
did
you?
not, and I wasn't going to follow it up with
A
any
woman of
singing
many
either.
talents.
We take a look at the change of venue when we come back.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners.
Welcome back, everyone. Are there wedding bells in your future?
If that's the case, finding a place to get hitched is, well, it's one of the first priorities. Our Blair Schaefer joins us live in the studio to tell us how options have changed over the years. Blair?
Joey, not that long ago, a church was the go-to for couples getting married. But with new generations come new traditions, and a wedding is one tradition that is slowly beginning to change.
Non-traditional seems to be the norm.
Melissa Hawley, teacher and mother, knows just what it's like to look for a wedding venue in this new generation. And sometimes living in a rural area can make that hard. But not for Holly. She says the sites here at home are warm and inviting. It can be the perfect fit for every girl's dream wedding.
You can bring your pastor or whomever to marry you in that ceremony and also have the fellowship. And this venue, you know, in Wisteria Vines gives you that capability to be able to do that.
Years ago, a place of worship was generally the go-to place to exchange vows.
Generations change, you know. Everything's changed, so I guess it's just a new look.
Dotson Farms co-owner Kelly Murphy says helping someone plan their big day no longer has to be a hassle. With outdoor venues becoming a popular trend, she says her new property could be the perfect fit.
We decided we needed to do something and make it some type of event place because we didn't want to tear it down. There's too much sentimental value. And so that's when the wedding ideas came.
Dotson Farms wanted to make their property one that stands out. What started out as an old dairy farm quickly became an attractive venue for, you guessed it, wedding bells. a place Holly would think is a perfect fit for a wedding.
It's convenient to not have to leave and go, someplace far. So it really has been a blessing to this rural community.
In rural venues, there's oftentimes other space for weddings and activities.
Colder air rushing back into the region. Right now you can see this cooler air blowing on in here to the northwest. We do have temperatures now down into the 30s. Rain showers out there, but those go away this evening. More after the break.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Enough gloom for the day. Let's talk about our Thursday. Brighter skies. A chilly start, yes. Temperatures in the upper 20s to around 30. Wind chills in the 20s in the morning, but lots of sun here, 43 at noon, mid to upper 40s during the course of our afternoon. So a much better situation relative to what we've had out there today. Wind at about 5 to 15. As we look ahead, overall quiet for the rest of the work week and even into the weekend too. Temperatures all over the place. We're going up and down. A stronger front next Tuesday. Let me show you that. Mild on Monday, a chance at some low 60s, and then rushing in behind it will be this next front, and that could give us some 30s on Tuesday, maybe even a little bit of wintry precipitation. So that's a couple of days out. We'll continue to monitor that. Now, I want you to notice the flag here in Tupelo. This is our Alpha Insurance time lapse. You can see the flag going to the left, a southerly breeze earlier, and then we had a wind shift, and then that flag becomes from left to right here across your screen with those northerly breezes coming on in. So pretty neat to catch that as we went throughout the course of the afternoon. And right there on the street, obviously a lot of wet weather out there. Some spots seeing well over an inch today. We still have some heavier showers or steadier showers from Amory down through Wcbi County, but that's really about the back edge of the heavy stuff, and not a lot going back to the west. But notice how these temperatures are only in the mid-30s out in Oxford and Grenada, and that cooler air is coming on in. Now for your Thursday and Friday, higher pressure, and that will give us some brighter skies as that system gets out of here. But right now it's a bit breezy in Columbus, 21 sustained mile-per-hour winds here, 15 Calhoun City, 16 in Oxford. And the wind chills later tonight down into the lower 20s. That will be with you for the morning commute, so get ready for it. Actual air temperatures tonight, later on, upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Here's the situation. We have this one system on the way out. Another cold front comes in tomorrow night. That will likely move through dry. Pretty decent weather for Friday, but chilly. And we may have a series of disturbances kick through this weekend, but no active weather here for at least the next, let's just say, 5 days. But temperatures, again, all over the place. 48 tomorrow, 39 Friday, 51 Saturday, 55 on Sunday, maybe 61 Monday before that next front on Tuesday. That's really the next big system that's going to affect us. So we have a couple of days to watch it, but right now the weekend's looking pretty good.
The Columbus Lady Falcons, one of the top teams in the state, and a big reason why. Our Student Athlete of the Week. More from star guard Hannah White next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The Columbus Lady Falcons girls basketball team is off to its best start in more than a decade. A big senior class looking to bring the first gold ball back to Columbus on the women's side following their Dandy Dozen leader. Time for this week's Student Athlete of the Week. Alone at the top of the Region 2 6A standings, the Columbus Lady Falcons are red hot. 17-2 record fresh off a big division win over Tupelo. But what makes the Lady Falcons tick? Well, it's senior guard Hannah White.
She does whatever she needs to do to make this team successful. If it needs for us to go out and her get us 20 plus, then that's what she does. In some games she only had 15 points, but she'll have 12 rebounds. You know, and she'll go for a double-double or triple and things like that. And that's a sign of a great leader.
Averaging 20 points, 7 boards, 3 steals per game, White has worked her way into recruiters' minds, receiving multiple Division I offers to this point in the season. Basketball is a part of her past, present, and future, something she knows she's earned.
When I was in 9th grade, I had ended up moving up, so like I stayed with the varsity and tried to practice. And after they had practice, I'd come to the gym. On Saturdays, I'd come to the gym. During school practice, sometimes I wouldn't go to lunch. I'd just shoot a little bit or do something just to work, just work out.
My son used to always say the lights never go off in the gym. So she was constantly calling, Coach, can I get in the gym? Coach, can I get in the gym? And it has really paid off for her. She put in the work.
White will be the 3rd Lady Falcon to represent Columbus in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star Game and has the chance to leave a lasting legacy in the friendly city. But basketball doesn't define White, the senior racking up the big-time stat of a 4.6 GPA and the hopes of going into psychology to one day help others.
My teammates, like a lot of stuff be happening sometimes in our personal lives, so being able to help them, then going to church all the time and learning about the Lord. So I just been learning easily like how to give advice to others.
She's a humble person. She's down to earth. Like if anybody that meet Hannah, they gonna fall in love with her. Like everybody loves Hannah. She leads by example. She gets out. They see her working hard, and they want to do the same thing. And you know, and when you're a quiet leader like that, it makes a big difference with with the team.
White and the Lady Falcons look to stay undefeated in the division, taking on South Panola at home Friday. In Columbus, Tom Ebel, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Student Athlete of the Week on WCBI Sports is brought to you by C-Spire, customer inspired.
Let me welcome the 6th head soccer coach at Mississippi State University, Coach James Armstrong.
A new era beginning for Mississippi State soccer. Former Auburn Associate Head Coach James Armstrong formally introduced for the first time Wednesday. A true come-up story. Armstrong beginning his career as an equipment manager with the U.S. Soccer Federation, now leading an SEC program. The Bulldogs reached the NCAA tournament for the first time ever in 2018, and Armstrong looks to lead MSU to greater heights as head coach.
They had a disappointing result in the first round. I know, talking to the girls, they would love that game back. We want to make sure that we get back to that level and then go on from there. Making the SEC tournament, that's a priority as well. You know, they haven't been there since 2004, so making sure that they get to experience that. You know, and I know that talking to the girls as well, that is something that's a priority for them.
That's it for sports. We'll have a last look at your weather coming up next.
Rain ends this evening. The sun returns tomorrow, mid to upper 40s. Chilly on Friday, but still a lot of sunshine there. The weekend's looking okay. No weather issues for the Bridal Showcase in Columbus.
I'm
Let's
happy
just
to
get
hear
that little
that.
shameless plug in there.
Nothing shameless about that.
Nothing.
That's what we do,
Not
right?
one thing.
By the way, the first show is at 10. The second one is at 2. So
Okay.
there you go.
All right, the weather should be
And
good.
our host.
Yes, along with Allie Martin.
There
Yes.
you go.
All right.
And the weather will be great. We can dry out for a little bit.
No issues here.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.